A very good morning, viewers, and warm welcome to another episode of NK's Lockdown Musings. Now, all of us are sitting at home, locked down. We are working from home. We are probably working at home too. But in the midst of all this, I think we need to have conversations with people so that we can generate positivity amongst us. Number one, we can understand the reality on the ground. Number two, and generally try to take ourselves, see ourselves where we are going to be about 15 days from now, or maybe even a month from now. Today with me is a very eminent journalist, Raghuram. He's a freelance journalist writing for the Mint, the Hindu, the Deccan Herald, Business Standard, Forbes, and the First Post. He also writes for News Karnataka, and we have a long association. He was the former bureau chief of the Mangalore region with the New Indian Express. And welcome to you, sir. It's a pleasure having you speaking to us from your home. Normally, you would be in our studio, but let's convert this into a studio. Yeah, we are now in the midst of a very difficult situation. Not only us in Mangalore, or in DK, or in Karnataka, the whole country, and in fact, the whole world is in a very difficult and challenging situation because of the COVID-19 virus. And it is challenging because it's asymptomatic for a long time. Sometimes even the tests turn negative. And once they're found positive, there is no generally a fixed treatment protocol. And we don't see how, at this point of time, how we're going to stop the spread of the virus, because it's human to human transmission through touch and through droplets in the air. So it's quite a challenging situation. I just wanted to start by asking you, Mr. Raghuram, how do you see this challenge for the country and for the state?
Yeah, Brian, you analyzed it briefly and very eloquently, of course. You touched upon various scenarios we might come on. If we take a global view, I think we had anticipated in some way that certain kinds of unseen challenges might arise. Probably, I am not soothsaying here, but there were indications from the medical field that we have to be prepared for unseen or a very sudden impact. This is what has happened. I don't call it a kind of biological situation where countries involved in to get an upper hand, but still it is a situation where the globe, the entire world community should look as a potential danger in the future also. We cannot underestimate or look the other way in the adversities that might affect the world as a community, especially the biological kind of it. We can't see them. If it's a formidable enemy like the armies and the air force and navy, we can see them materialistically. But here, it is unseen. It's seen only through the microscope. And the science community. The other day, I was reading a magazine, Discovery. It was saying that there are many viruses which are hidden in the ice caps. As the ice melts, the viruses will come into the saline waters and then get activated and reach our shores. I don't know. I am not a scientist, neither I am a biologist for I'm saying this. But what I read is this. But right now, we are in a situation where we must think and act in unison, not just in a jurisdiction of countries and states and international borders and all. The world humanity itself is under danger. This is a global view. And what ICMR is doing and what the CDC is doing in USA and WHO and so many other organizations are, uh, uh, you know, synergizing their efforts. But at this same point, for India, the challenge is formidable because we are a very conservative society when it comes to hygiene. Hygiene takes the last place in our routine. Probably in the last 10 years or so, we have improved our hygienic conditions, but not enough. The large number of people are still untouched by the national or international standards of hygiene. So the challenges are formidable. We have not even scratched the top layer of the ice. And having said that, I would like to put in one prudent or very prominent point in our economy, that we are spending only 1.2% of our GDP for health related matters. This has not improved. We have seen several governments in the past, and even this government has not improved it. But now I think this is a time when we should look into our priorities in health sector, where we'll have to outlay uh, a, a sizable amount, like a decent amount for the management of health related issues, especially the exigencies like this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm in full agreement with you. Now, regarding the hygiene part of it, I think individual hygiene in India is pretty good, but the community hygiene probably is not too good because of the density of the population and the facilities available probably for clearance of garbage, and our community sense of community is not that strong. That I agree. And as far as the health sector is concerned, the expenditure on the health sector is concerned, 1.2% of the GDP is definitely not enough. And I think we should not wait for a crisis to actually step up the expenditure on health. It's always,
Yes.
when you have a problem or a litigation, you go and go to the lawyer, or when you have a problem, you go to the doctor. I think, or when you have a problem, you start praying to God. I think
That's right.
that is not the right way of doing things. You should always be in touch with whomever you need, and then when you are in trouble, it will come and help you. That's the way I look at
That's
it. Uh, Apart from that, now, what do you feel about the challenges that the economy is facing? For instance, 37% of the workforce is migrant labor. Uh,
that's right.
the cities are shut down. Some of them
Yes.
have gone back. Some of them are still in the city. Let us say that the lockdown expires on the 14th, and let's assume that there's one more lockdown of 28 days, as many people are predicting. After that, most businesses will not be able to employ labor because they'll just be getting back on their feet. And the economy will have its own challenges. Employment will be a challenge. How do you look at it?
Yes. Employment is going to be a big challenge. You see, we are now living on the savings. We don't have work. Many of us, many of the people, in the unorganized sectors, and even in the organized sectors, people are not willing to save now. They want to spend. They will spend in the pub the last rupee they have got and smoke away the last rupee of. But that kind of thing, when we think about it, we are always assured of employment tomorrow. But it's not so anymore, both in the organized as well as in the unorganized sector. For people who really are looking for jobs, is always there. But people who want to take it easy, easy come, easy go, live by the day, that is difficult. In this, on this note, what I understood was uh, the habit of saving is going away from us. This is the first factor because we don't save for the rainy day anymore. Probably probably we would like to indulge in our social commitments and probably in consumerization of the whole system. But nevertheless, as you observed, that the employment situation is getting bad to worse. I see there are many unorganized labor uh, who are moving away in search of job, even in this difficult condition. I'm sure they won't be. They won't be able to. I interviewed some two people some 5 days back in Tokoto. They were on their way to Davanagere. They were here for a construction worker. They left and they were caught there by the police, and then they were just stranded there. No water, no food, nothing. And my friend Anil Shastri, who took pity on them and delivered them food, they were on the verge of collapse because of hunger and thirst in the middle of nowhere. Such things are happening everywhere.
That's true.
It is a tragedy of the human things,
Yeah.
you know, particular society, particular time of the time, particular time, we are facing that. How to how to mitigate all these things? I don't think it is possible unless you have a better wages and the rules and the sections and the legislations to cover it. Such execution. We don't have. The social security system is very bad in India. Many places. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was just trying to intervene to tell you that yes, I also came across a case of about 7 or 8 people from Bagalkote who were supposed to be on their way from Manjeshwar to Bagalkote, and really they had no food to eat and they had no place to stay, and they were actually walking. Of course, I think we informed the district administration, and I'm not sure what happened after that. But what you say is absolutely right. But a lot of people, a lot of agencies, the silver lining is that a lot of human beings, I would call them humane beings, are coming out and trying to mitigate the situation here in DK. This is one part of the one part of the issue, but we do have a problem once the lockdown is lifted too, because as businesses start to get back on their feet, they will employ less and maybe they will be a little cautious and so on and so forth. So the other part of it is supplies. Now, India is one block for taxation after the GST has come. Now, the free movement of goods and services across borders, state borders, district borders, town borders, city borders, I think everything has been, negated by the fact that everybody wants to survive. I want to survive, you want to survive, we want our loved ones to survive. And the best way that we understand to do that is to block everything and stay in a cocoon, like just before the butterfly is in the cocoon. I think we all want to be in that cocoon. Now, is that right strategy, good strategy, bad strategy? Is it the right thing to do in our system or not? Our system is something I want to ask you, Raghuram.
Yes, Brian. I was worried at the factor that the state borders are being closed.
I see.
Yes, the state borders are being closed, and Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh, they don't have a connection now. And Tamil Nadu and Kerala does not have, and Karnataka and Kerala does not have. Luckily, we have open borders between Goa and Maharashtra, where we get all our stuff from. But Kerala is a special case. Especially the North Malabar area, Kasargod and Kannur. For many reasons, they have not developed their healthcare system. I have seen ambulances being blocked in Karnataka, Kerala border in near the place just next to Tokot. So I was wondering why this nobody has a right to block highways, state highways and national highways. It's only the national highways they have the right to block because of repairs and upkeep, not because of political lies. But this is an extraordinary situation. Kerala has northern Kerala, North Malabar districts of Kerala are dependent on Mangalore for all their healthcare systems. Because even in Kerala, when big hospitals, corporate hospitals were prevented from being established in Kerala by the communist parties. I'm not being political here, but this is a system. Communist Party had blocked the, several corporate hospitals coming up in Kasargod and Kannur. So what they did was people, NRIs and all, who have gone from Kerala, who have got lots of big money and investment, they invested in Mangalore. Mangalore situation was better. And Mangalore Kasargod is just 45 minutes journey by ambulance. So they thought, even many friends are there from Kerala who invested here in Mangalore for healthcare. They say Mangalore is a better place. Mangalore has got all the things what a Kerala patient would need. But now, after 20 years of investment, we can't turn their ambulances back. But there's a problem. There's a social problem. I was speaking to my friend Nadine Kumar Katil, MP of that, my MP constituency. Then he said it's okay. One person, one attendant with one patient is admissible. But there's an ambulance full of people coming from the pandemic area. That area where it is not containable. Kerala is the highest load. Even today, there is a spike of 30, as we speak now, 30 cases have been reported, new ones. So it has crossed 300 now. And, we can't risk this kind of interstate transmission of this pandemic. This is why they might have closed the borders. But it has, thank God, various other supplies are being allowed from last 1 week or so. Their supplies of the petroleum is going, and the chicken is going, vegetables is going, and likewise we are receiving from them also. But after serious checks on the crew of the trucks and carriers. So even in Mysore, I heard Pratap Sima was speaking to me other day. They have kept 2 roads open. That is from Bawali to HD Kote, and then one more road, interior road, for the Kerala to operate its services, good services. So what happens in this case is, Unitan, he's a MP from Kasargod. He has gone for a High Court, Supreme Court guidance for this. And the High Court has also referred it to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said it is an interstate matter. The judiciary will not intervene at this point of time because we'll have to contain the COVID-19. So the challenges are many, and it is expanding every day, because it is now touching the health and the lives of the common man.
Absolutely.
Very close up and
absolutely. When something touches us, when our health is going to be affected, we find all the strength to resist it. The sad part is that this COVID-19 virus, we are not able to generate the antibodies, not yet anyway. As far as the closure of borders and stuff like that is concerned, it's a very paradoxical situation where we need something from somewhere else, but yet we have to keep them away. That's the way I look at it. Sometimes it's difficult to take these decisions, and they are not taken in vacuum. There are lots of pros and cons debated. And in the end, the protection of the community is the, I think, key measure by which these decisions are made. There is one other point I'd like to make, is that travel of goods transportation we have learned from the WHO site as well as from various health websites that transmission is, the virus stays alive on goods and services, not services, at least on goods, by plastic, made of plastic,
Yeah.
of metal, and so on and so forth. So if it is not just human transmission, I'm sure there is also transmission by way of material. Now, how far that is applicable and how far it's actually spreading through that method is not known. And I think we should not worry too much about it, because the more we worry about it, the more we fear. And the more we fear, more the effect on our mental health. So now I want to just come back to the last part of our discussion. Uh, there has to be a silver lining. Now, where does all this end? How do you see it end?
Yeah, Brian, there has to be a silver lining, and we will have to end it, this note on a very positive aspect of it. See, Wuhan has sprung back. I
Sorry?
have seen the report. Wuhan city, where it all started in China,
Yes, yes, I've seen the reports. Yes.
it's come back. It's come back, and the industries are on, and there's not even one single case there. I think we should be looking at this model. If Wuhan has started it and it has completely vanquished it and got back on its feet, what is happening there? We can't trust anymore the Western kinds of pandemic control systems, especially in this. I don't know. I hate to say that this is lab managed. The entire, the pandemic, how it grew and how it emerged and how it grew and how it spread. I don't think, I shudder to say that this is being manufactured. But China has got control on it. How? And why India and the Western countries are not willing to study this model? Yes,
Let,
it is.
let me
Go
just
on.
let me just intervene there. China has a different model of governance, so it is not applicable to India, and it's not applicable to the West either. Now, India is a very active country in terms of its people. They are active in all aspects of life in the country, and to ask them to just to get confined to their homes without absolute justification or taking them into confidence, I think that's a very difficult task to achieve. But if you take people into confidence, the fear combined with the hope, I think, will help. But in the end, there are a lot of things that have changed in the world, and it will never be the same again. I just read one WhatsApp meme which said that the world is closed for renovation, and please be ready for the grand opening shortly. And on that note, I'd like to, on that positive note, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, let's all be ready for the grand reopening shortly. On that positive note, let us wind up this discussion. Thank you very much, Raghuram, for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.